Well, this year's TechPoint Trailblazer of the Year, Mira Award winner, is a Hoosier entrepreneurial giant, a business leader, philanthropist, a pioneer among minority business owners in the state. Justin Christian founded IT consulting firm BC Forward in 1998, and he's watched his company grow into Indiana's largest black-owned business and one of the largest in the country. TechPoint honoring Christian at its 22nd annual Mira Awards Gala later this month. Pleased to be joined, as always, by TechPoint CEO Mike Langelier to learn more about Justin Christian and also a few other tidbits, interesting tidbits about the Mira Awards. And Mike, as always, great to see you.
Hi there, Gary. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's start with the Mira Awards. 22nd year. It is an amazing event. It has continued to grow over all these years. Give us a thumbnail sketch of the Mira and really what the awards gala is all about.
Yeah, for those that are not familiar, they can think about it as the Oscars of tech in Indiana. It recognizes remarkable achievements by companies, individuals, educational institutions, even cities in the year prior, in typically 15 or so different awards categories. And it's the largest, it's the longest running tech community event in the state. It happens every spring, and this year it's on April 22nd from 8 to 10 p.m. It's produced by TechPoint, which is the growth of Indiana's tech industry. And in a normal year, we'd be downtown in person with a sold out crowd of 1,400 or so people at the JW Marriott. But this year it'll be a virtual production. And those where everyone who applies or are nominated does so in January. And then we have 52 volunteer judges who invest about 800 hours into a judging process to determine who the winners will be.
Yeah, a lot of interest, statewide interest from companies of all shapes and sizes, entrepreneurs, innovators. Any surprises this year, Mike?
Yeah, there were two things. We didn't quite know what to expect going into this year, being on the heels of the pandemic. But in the pandemic, we worried that applications would be down if last year was a bad for a lot of companies. But in fact, we had a record number of applications with 211 applications. Companies did well despite the pandemic, but also we created a new category for this year called the Pandemic Pivot Award. And so we're glad we did, because some of the most remarkable feats last year were the ways that companies and individuals adapted amidst the pandemic to survive, serve customers, seize new market opportunities. Those are some of the most interesting things I look forward to sharing. The other that I'd say, racial and gender equity has been on everyone's minds over the past year. And we worked really hard to reach out to all corners of the state and many different communities to expand the tent of the tech community and make sure we were recognizing and also celebrating the full range of the community. And I was thrilled that this year also we had the most diverse nominee class. We had 36% of the nominees that were women, people of color, immigrants, or a combination as founders, CEOs, presidents. Step in the right direction.
And you've released a small number of the award winners, and that's reflective of the diversity you talk about. When you talk about the Trailblazer Award winner, Justin Christian, who is a great entrepreneur and community leader, he'll be your Trailblazer Award winner this year.
Yeah, well, as you referenced, and I won't restate some of the highlights about Justin and how he's grown, BC Forward since 1998 to now over 6,500 people employed there, wow, making it the state's largest black-owned company, one of the 100 largest black-owned companies in the country. In addition to being a stylish dresser, he's long been known as a stylish dresser and a proud dad with 4 daughters. As you know, he's also become an active philanthropist and a community leader as well. But we've also announced here over the course of the past week 2 other awards, with the Rising Tech City Award, which Bloomington won for their development of the Mill and the Trades District Certified Tech Park. And then also the Bridge Builder Award winner is Rose Holman, Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering, Dr. Carlotta Berry, for her work advocating for underrepresented young people.
Very quickly, 10 seconds. Mike, anything new to expect at Mira?
Yeah, so as I said, this year's virtual. We had last year over 5,000 people who tuned in. I think we'll expect more this year. The nice thing about it being virtual is that it's anyone can watch for free from home. It'll be a fast-paced event, 2 hours from 8 to 10 p.m. on April 22nd. New this year is that we're going to have a couple local artists, Native Son, one of Indy's premier hip hop groups, who performed the March Madness show along with Man and Voice. And then also we're going to have a local artist in Deanna Craig who will do a painting live gala that will be given away in a drawing, and the proceeds will support underrepresented students.
All right, Mirror Awards coming up just a little bit later in the month, April 22nd. Mike Langelier, TechPoint, thanks. Looking forward to the event. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Gary.
And I'll be right back.